April 2021 DVD and Blu-ray update part 1. Ahoy hoy everybody, and it's that time again. My watched pile has got too big, so I need to do a DVD and Blu-ray update. And in fact it's got so big I'm going to be splitting this over 2 parts, so hopefully there'll be this part and then the following part will be next week. Apologies, it's bed change day, so that's why you've just got the plain duvet in the background. Apologies for that. Okay, yeah, so these are DVDs and Blu-rays that would fit on the shelves I've already shown, basically, but that I've watched over the last few months. So first up we have Stan and Ollie, the biopic of Laurel and Hardy, starring Steve Coogan and his name's just gone... John C. Reilly. It's early in the morning as I record this. It tells the story of their last tour in the UK before Oliver had to retire for health reasons. Really good film, really well performed. Yeah, very, very good indeed. Excellent. We have Jack the Ripper. Now this was an ITV, I think. No, BBC, maybe. BBC. Series from 1973, where Stratford Johns and Frank Windsor reprised their roles of Barlow and Watt from Z Cars, Softly Softly, Barlow at Large. And they took it upon themselves to investigate the Jack the Ripper killings. So, I guess this is rattling. Oh yeah, it's got a dodgy... Yeah, it will always rattle, unfortunately. The clip's gone in the case. So it's, you know, it's factual, but done in a fictional style. It was good. I'd read, you know, Jack the Ripper is something that interests me a lot. I've read a fair bit about it as well. I'd read some bad things about this, however, I came into it, you know, expecting it to be slow and ploddy, but actually I ate it up. It was really good. Found it really well done. They don't come to a proper overall conclusion, which is the right thing, but a lot of their findings have since been poo-pooed. But yeah, very entertaining and interesting. We have a Blu-ray of The Secret Policeman's Ball, Radio City Music Hall, 4th of March 2012. So I have the box set of The Secret Policeman's Balls, which were the Amnesty gigs to raise money for Amnesty International. Started in the mid-70s and featuring sort of the Pythons, the Goodies, a lot of the Beyond the Fringe, in fact all the Beyond the Fringe team, and various other acts of the time, and they've gone on through the years and sort of got bigger and bigger. So this might be the most recent one, but don't quote me on that. So this was the first one that was actually held in America at the Radio City Music Hall in New York. And it's probably the least good of them. It's not bad. It's a mixture of UK and US comedians. Mickey Flanagan's on it, and I don't feel his humour really travels well. He's very much a British comedian, a London comedian even. He went down okay on this, but I think he would have gone down better in the UK. Jimmy Carr went down okay. His name has just gone straight out of my head. Jack Whitehall went down okay. There's some good bits as well from the Americans. Sarah Silverman's always excellent, but some of it fell a bit flat to me anyway. Good little set by Coldplay at the end of it as well. Mumford and Sons are on it, weren't too bad. I don't mind Mumford and Sons, but I find them a bit... I always feel that they're sort of pretending to be something they're not. And I'm jealous because he's married to Kerry Mulligan. Yeah, as I say, it's probably the least good of all of them, but still enjoyable. Okay, so this is the Marvel Studios Cinematic Universe Phase 3 Part 2 box set. So this contains all the films from Black Panther through to Endgame. Well, through to Spider-Man Far From Home, rather. I always forget that that's sort of a tag afterwards. It's a nice little set, so the top comes off, although it is a bugger getting it back on. He says he does it first time then. To the glove. And then you can pull out a sort of an elaborate J card. And that's sort of the rest of the box. Just noticed this actually comes out as well. Didn't realise that. I'm not sure why. It's just for no practical purpose. Yeah, and then you've got the box set inside with all the discs, like so. Bonus disc at the end, which wasn't up to much. It was just a few more featurettes. Did have a round table with a lot of the directors from the Marvel Cinematic Universe chatting, which was interesting. And then inside you get this little folder, wallet, whatever you want to call it, and it has some postcards with some good artwork for each of the films. And then it also has a set of mini posters for all the films as well, which is nice. Might, if the opportunity arises, get them signed. If a suitably large member of the cast appears anywhere where I'm at. So it's a nice little set anyway, but it was only, I think, 20-something pounds. And you know, it came out at the same time as Spider-Man Far From Home, and since I didn't have anything past Black Panther, it seemed a no-brainer to use it to pick up what I was missing in one easy package, and all I was duplicating was Black Panther. So for the films in here anyway, Black Panther I loved. First time I watched it and loved it just as much this time. Infinity War was excellent. Ant-Man and the Wasp I enjoyed a lot. I know a lot of people think it's not as good as the first Ant-Man film. I'd say I enjoyed it as much. Captain Marvel I really enjoyed. I know that splits people, but yeah, I really enjoyed Captain Marvel, and I thought Brie Larson was excellent. And then Endgame, a bit too long, but otherwise excellent. I know that's sacrilege, but there were areas where it could have been cut a little bit. Even though I knew all the spoilers for the two Avengers films well in advance, didn't spoil them for me though, I don't feel. Oh, skipped. No, I didn't. Oh, that's a bonus disc for Endgame. Then we have Far From Home, which was excellent. I do love these Spider-Man films. And then there's the other bonus disc, as previously discussed. So yeah, nice little set there. That brought me up to date with these films. I'll probably do a ranking at some point, but it will probably involve me having to rewatch a lot of the films. Fisherman's Friends. I enjoyed this more than I thought I was going to. I wanted it. It was a Christmas present, and it was on my wish list primarily because Tuppence Middleton's in it, who I adore, and she was excellent in this. Fell in love with her all over again. But yeah, this is based on a true story of the Fisherman's Friends, who are a group, if you like, who perform sea shanties. And they became successful and had a hit album, or a couple of hit albums, etc. and it's a sort of story of how they got their career. It's a fictionalised version of the true story, but it's done with the full cooperation of the Fisherman's Friends. Yeah, as I say, enjoyed it a lot. It was typical, as it says there, a feel-good film. It all goes wrong and then it all goes right again, etc. But yeah, enjoyed that a lot. Series 2 of Harlots. So Series 1 I probably watched about a year ago, possibly a little bit more. So recently watched Series 2. I have Series 3 in my to-watch pile as well. Really enjoy Harlots. Excellent performances all round. Great story. Highly recommend. Adult life skills. So I saw the trailer for this in front of another film in my collection and thought, oh, that looks alright. So I picked it up. Starring the lovely Jodie Whittaker, Brett Goldstein, Alice Lowe. It's all sort of trumped up as a comedy, and it is, but it's more of a comedy drama. So Jodie plays Anna. She's just about to turn 30 and she's living in the shed at the bottom of her mum's garden because her twin brother recently died. We never find out exactly why or how. He's possibly drowned because every time we see him he's in a scuba outfit, so it's possible he drowned, but it might not be. Yes, so she's sort of gone off the rails a bit, but they always used to make silly films together, and she's still making these films and post them on the internet. She's still making these films using her thumbs as characters, and she's very quirky and doesn't want to get involved with people. Brett Goldstein's a childhood friend who everyone assumes is gay but isn't, and is madly in love with her, and I'm sure you can guess where that goes. Their neighbours. There's a little boy whose mother is undergoing treatment for cancer, and she sort of gets roped into looking after him, and they bond, and it's a really good film. Really enjoyed it a lot. Adult life skills, great performance by Jodie. This is The Favourite, which I'm sure you've all heard of. Won nominated for 10 Academy Awards, Oscar winner Best Actress Olivia Colman, won lots of BAFTAs as well. Really good film. So 18th century, Queen Anne, old, fragile, well, not necessarily old, but she's frail, many illnesses and problems and gout and all sorts. And it's basically about her relationship with her childhood friend and lover, Lady Sarah, Rachel Weisz, and then Abigail, who is cousin of Sarah, Rachel Weisz's character, played by Emma Stone, who also befriends the Queen and gets involved with her and the fight between the two of them for her favour. But yeah, really well done. Excellent performances all round. Really good film. Okay, we have Men in Black International. Film gets a lot of stick, and deservedly so. However, I would say if there weren't 3 other Men in Black films, people would think of this better than they do, if that makes sense. It's a good, solid, good action film. Lots of fun. But it doesn't compare to the other 3 Men in Black films. Also, there's some jokes in there that really fall flat. You could almost sense, it's weird, because obviously there's no laughter track or anything on there, it's a film. But you can almost feel an audience being quiet, if that makes sense. There's one particular line, I can't remember what it was now, but it was fairly early in the film, and it was clearly meant to be a big woofer. And he told it, and you could almost hear the crickets chirping, it was so poor a joke. But yeah, as I say, better than people probably rate it, purely because it's being compared to the first 3. We have Scandal, which is one of my favourite films. This is the recent BFI release, first Blu-ray release. It's a dual disc Blu-ray and DVD. Great film, telling the story of Christine Keelan, the Perfumer affair. Great performances all round. John Hurt, Joanne Whalley, Bridget Fonda, Ian McKellen, Britt Ekland, Roland Gift, Joan Crabb. Leslie Phillips. All sorts of really good actors in here, doing great performances. As I say, one of my favourite films. My only problem with every release of this since for VHS is there's a little scene cut out, and it really annoys me. It's just a tiny little scene of Bridget Fonda and I can't remember the name of their character, but basically with her sugar daddy. It's probably a 3-minute scene. It's been cut ever since the VHS, and I don't know why. But yeah, really good film. Loads of good extras on this as well. Documentaries about the film and about the time. Good. Probably another hour and a half, 2 hours of extras. Including a couple of short films. Yeah, so it's nearly 2.5 hours actually. One short film about the cabaret club where Christine Keeler worked. Murray's Cabaret Club. Shot from 1956, so just before Christine Keeler and Mandy Rice Davies worked there. And then Michael Caton Jones, the director, one of his short films, The Riveter, which is really good. A couple more. We have Solo, a Star Wars story. So I saw this in the cinema, stuck it on my wish list, just took me ages to get round to it, getting it. This was a Christmas present. It's actually a Dutch release, I think. So it's in a slimline case. Doesn't bother me at all, as long as the content's there. And obviously all the text is in Dutch, but the film is what's important. I like this film. I like it a fair bit. I just never feel that he feels, whatever his name is, Alden Ehrenreich. He never feels like the same character that Harrison Ford plays to me. I know obviously he is a younger version of it, and he hasn't been through everything that Harrison Ford's Han Solo has. But, Lando, Donald Glover, he feels like Lando Calrissian to me. Chewie obviously feels like Chewie to me. If he was a different character, I think I would enjoy this film a lot more. But because he's trying to be Han Solo, it puts it down a little bit for me. But as a Star Wars story, if he was called John Alone, and it was Alone, a Star Wars story, I'd probably rate this a little bit higher than I actually do. But as I say, I do enjoy it a fair bit. Shazam! Didn't work. Loved this. It was a bit slow to get going. The first probably hour. Well, basically until he gets Shazammed, which was a fair chunk of the story. Might not have been an hour, but it was a fair chunk of the story. It was difficult because they'd all really pretty much all need to be there. But it just, you wanted Shazam to appear. Captain Marvel, as his name actually was, for a DC character, but then Captain Marvel occurred and it was... Anyway. Yeah, but certainly once, it got going, I really enjoyed it a lot. It was funny, great performances from all the cast, including the kids, which is always a bit of a concern in kid-heavy films. Mark Strong, excellent as the villain. Yeah, enjoyed that a lot. Looking forward to the sequel that is in production, or about to be in production. One more. Doctor Who: The Macroterra. So this was, or is, a story that is largely lost. So they have recreated it using audio recording of the TV show, and they have animated it. And it was good. The animation side of it sort of never bothers me at all. It doesn't affect my enjoyment of the stories. As a story, it was better than I thought it was going to be. There's sort of a bit of a reputation. The Macra are giant crabs. They did appear very briefly in New Who, in Gridlocked, which was the one where they were in a massive traffic jam, and Ardal O'Hanlon played, can't remember the character name, but a cat, basically, a cat who was married to a human being. and they were falling through all these various cars, and right at the bottom with a macra. But yeah, so they're giant crabs. I think it probably works better being animated, because I'm sure the original effects weren't as good as the animated giant crabs. They had a bit of a reputation as not being a great villain, you know, not what have you. And in a part they're not, but the villains of this story aren't really the crabs. It's the humans who are being influenced by the crabs. Yeah, as I say, enjoyed that quite a bit. The menus are really annoying. They're really loud, and it's an annoying... I can't remember exactly what the noise is, but it's an annoying, repetitive noise. It's got lots of bonuses on here as well. I would have liked a little documentary about the show. Most of the Doctor Who's have sort of a making of documentary on there, and this hasn't. But otherwise, yes. Okay, so that's it for this part. So yes, next week will be the second part of what I've watched recently, basically. Thank you for watching. Like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in another video. Thanks. Bye.